Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week the Torah portion is the dermatologist special. It's a Torah portion that rabbis usually go out of their way to ignore or to spin some other way. It's all about skin irritations and infections and growths on skin. It's called Tazria, and it talks all about purity and impurity at its heart. And so if a person has a skin growth or it turns white and scaly or there's some problem, you take it to the priest and the priest looks at it and says, well, let's watch it for a week and come back, and if it's better, then everything's okay, and if not, well, then we have to treat it. But it's not like being treated at the doctor where you get a cream or a medicine. Instead, you're sent off and you're considered impure. And so one of the questions that we always ask is, why? Why do we care about these skin issues so much, and why on earth are we trusting it to the priests and not to a doctor, and what's the deal? And the answer, I think, is all about purity. In our tradition, purity was a highly prized value. Purity was essential for the functioning of the temple. The sacrificial system depended on purity, and the way people interacted with each other was reliant on purity. And so, if there was any kind of issue, it automatically caused upheaval. And so the only way to keep some semblance of order was to craft a system that dealt with all of these problems. And so while it feels arcane and old to us today, in reality, it was a brilliant system for its time, because it took what would have been a really complicated situation and gave a set of rules and said, here's what you do if you have X or Y or Z, and here's what you do if you have this problem, and here's what you do if you have that problem, and we can resolve the whole thing. That idea that we can work through a challenge, I think, is really important, and I think we miss it. Too easily we allow things to just explode into drama and become much bigger problems than they need to be. And I think our tradition, this week's Torah portion, even though we've got to wade through all of the business of scaly skin, is saying something very important. Don't let things get out of hand. Sit down, work through them rationally, and you can piece by piece find a solution to whatever the problem is. I hope you'll join us for Shabbat services this week. Friday evening, our services will be at 6 o'clock. Our WRJ, our Women of Reformed Judaism, will be leading services as they do once a year each year. Saturday morning, we'll celebrate the bar mitzvah of Jacob Fiello at 11, preceded, of course, by Torah study at 10 and text study at 9. We have a movie in our synagogue series Saturday evening. And on Sunday morning, there's a wonderful event going on in the religious school. We have a mock wedding with our 5th graders. They're not going to actually be getting married. They're going to promise to be friends with each other for a day. But they're going to experience what a Jewish wedding is like as they've been learning about life cycle events. So if you happen to be free on Sunday morning around 10:30, poke over. You'll have a wonderful experience watching the kids learn all about weddings. In the coming week, I'll actually be away at the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the Reformed Rabbinic Group's convention, and it's where I'll be shaving my head. So next week when I see you, you'll see me with none of this, with no hair. I'm shaving my head to raise money for pediatric cancer research. And so far, the group of rabbis, about 50 or 75 of us, have raised about $450,000, closing in on $500,000. And if you'd like to join me, you can either contact me at the temple directly or go to stbaldrick's.org, and in the search-in box, just type in my name and you'll get to the page where you can make a donation. For now, though, I wish you a Shabbat of peace and relaxation, a time when order can make things better and can take away the drama and the fear of life, and instead leave you with a sense of knowing how we deal with this problem when it pops up or that problem when it pops up. Because when we have that, then we're able to function and do all sorts of extraordinary things and live out our potential as God's full partners in the sacred covenant that we share. Shabbat Shalom for now. Look forward to seeing you at the temple.